20 Unknown Facts Titanic 1912-1. A lifeboat drill was canceled. A lifeboat drill was scheduled for the morning of April 14, 1912, the very day the ship hit the iceberg, but it was mysteriously canceled by the captain. The iceberg warnings were ignored. Titanic received at least 6 iceberg warnings from other ships the day it sank, but not all of them were taken seriously. 3. No photographs of the iceberg exist. Despite many passengers having cameras, there is no confirmed photograph of the actual iceberg that struck Titanic. 4. The ship carried a priest who refused to leave. Father Thomas Biles, a Catholic priest on board, refused lifeboats twice and stayed to hear confessions and pray with passengers. A first-class ticket cost over $100,000 in today's money. A first-class suite on Titanic could cost the equivalent of over $100,000 today, depending on the room and accommodations. 6. The iceberg may have been 1,700 years old. The iceberg Titanic hit likely calved from a glacier in Greenland around 1000 BC 7. There were dogs on board. There were at least 12 dogs on the Titanic. Only 3 survived, all small breeds that fit in lifeboats. 8. The lights stayed on until the end. Titanic's electricians kept the lights running until minutes before the ship disappeared beneath the waves. 9. The ship had a Turkish bath and squash court. Titanic offered luxurious amenities, including a Turkish bath, a gym, and even a squash court. 10. The final meal was a 10-course dinner. First-class passengers were served an extravagant 10-course meal on the night of the disaster. 11 over 3,000 sacks of mail were on board Titanic, carried 3,364 bags of mail. It was an official Royal Mail ship, RMS. 12. It took over 70 years to find the wreck. The wreck of the Titanic wasn't discovered until 1985, more than 70 years after it sank. 13. There was an official newspaper. Titanic had a daily newspaper, the Atlantic Daily Bulletin, which included news, stock prices, and advertisements. 14. The lookouts didn't have binoculars. The ship's lookouts had no binoculars because they were locked away and the key was mistakenly taken off the ship. 15. The band played until the end. The ship's musicians famously played music, including hymns, to calm passengers as the ship sank. 16. Titanic was built with a double bottom. Titanic had a double bottom to help prevent flooding, but it wasn't enough to save her from the iceberg damage. 17. Titanic sank in less than 3 hours. The massive ship sank in just 2 hours and 40 minutes after the collision. 18. John Jacob Astor IV was the richest passenger, one of the richest men in the world at the time. Astor died in the disaster. His fortune would be worth over $3 billion today. 19. The water was near freezing. The water temperature was around 28 degrees Celsius. Most people died from cold shock and hypothermia, not drowning. 20. Titanic wasn't actually called unsinkable. Until after it sank before the tragedy, marketing described it as practically unsinkable. But after the disaster, the myth of it being unsinkable spread widely.